Welcome back. I'm MTG Joe. I'm here with another non-Oko deck. This is one of the more fun decks I've played in the last little bit, trying to explore what could potentially be after the ban and restricted this Monday. This is a Golgari Lucky Knights deck. So kind of a combo deck, kind of a grindy mid-range. We've been playing a lot of adventure decks recently. I think they're going to be really well positioned post-ban if Oko goes. So the adventure package is typically a combination of Edgewall Innkeeper and then either black or red you typically see for the adventure spells to draw cards off cast. So this particular one is more Knights focused, so a lot of little dorks, and we're looking to abuse Lucky Clover to double adventure spells and basically build a critical mass of Knights on the board and then play Smitten Swordmaster to surprise the opponent and drain them for a lot of life. This deck is really resilient. A lot of ways to get cards back from the graveyard, recycle and stuff like that. So what we're looking at is Foulmire Knight. Basically, what I usually will try to do is keep a hand where you have Edgewall and you can go Foulmire Knight both on turn 2. This lets you draw a card and it replaces itself. So a lot of these cheap creatures just replace themselves, and the 1-mana Death Touch is actually really good against like Nisa tokens. It trades up a lot of times. Blacklance Paragon is good for trading with Questing Beast, kind of surprise attacker, gains you some life. 4 Order of Midnight, return a card from our graveyard with return a creature from graveyard to hand. With Lucky Clover, you can get back a lot of creatures that way. The Swordmaster, even the 2/1 lifelink is quite relevant. Once Upon a Time, which probably should be banned in Standard, but it really just helps the consistency of the deck, helping you find the Edgewall Innkeeper. 4 Midnight Reapers to draw cards. 4 Murderous Riders to kill things, gain some life. 2 Incubation, we're only casting for the Incubation half. This lets us dig again for Edgewall Innkeeper. You really want to find the Innkeeper on turn 1 or 2. It just basically lets you snowball and keep drawing cards. And then 1 Find Finality in the main, just copy 5 of Order of Midnight to really just keep getting back the Smitten Swordmaster. Also, the board wipe isn't completely dead, but it is something useful to have. So the only change I made really quick to the deck list that's on Aether Hub right now is I added a second castle in place of a swamp. Just drawing cards late game is quite useful. Sideboard wise, we got 4 Duress, 2 Veil of Summer, 3 Noxious Grasps, 2 Reave Soul, so this is more against like the non-green-white aggro, so like your Knights deck, stuff like that. 2 Spyglass for like Oko, stuff like that, and then a couple Massacre Girls. Gonna make 1 quick switch and go to the 4th Grasp, and then take out a Duress, but pretty much the same like that. So still on Diamond 3, haven't been playing as much offline. As I mentioned in the community post on YouTube, I was planning on Thursday to do a long stream, 2-3 decks. Usually Tuesdays and Thursdays are when I put out a lot of my content on Twitch in the evening. Instead, I got the stomach flu. Not sure if it was food poisoning or something like that, but it felt like I rode a roller coaster 25 times in a row. I couldn't walk straight, and I was stuck in the bathroom. So, been taking it easy the last couple days. This hand we will keep because we have Once Upon a Time to find another spell, and then we can just cast the Swordmaster to draw a card. We're also on the play. So I'm back. We'll try to get 2 streams in this weekend. There's the Cascade event tomorrow, which I'm really interested in. It's usually one of my preferred events. So I'm actually going to take the Swamp here. The deck's pretty much base black, so I would prefer that. And then we just shock in. You can see there if we didn't have the Edgewall in hand, we were able to find a second one. I'm probably just going to go for the Ooh. Okay, well, we're just going to set up double Edgewall here. And then next turn, draw 2 cards. There is a play to play Midnight Reaper, but against Simic, it's unlikely they're going to kill our stuff right away. I'm just going to pass turn here. We are feeling lucky, hopefully. So they're going to go Brineborn. We can kind of drain them out. We get the spells off cast as well. I think here I'm going to try to jam a Midnight Reaper. Okay, they go Sabotage. We have 4 Lucky Clovers in the deck. This might be a little trickier of a matchup. We just want to try to grind them out of value. Start off with Incubation. I'm going to keep the Blacklance here. And I'm just going to play this into play tapped. I hope Oko and Once Upon a Time. It just makes the green decks too consistent. I wouldn't be against seeing Hydroid Krasis, maybe. It's just that, like, any of the other colors just feel invalidated. So right there, we need to kill the wolf. I'm fine with that, ideally. So I'm going to play out the Murderous Rider. We get to draw 2 here. And let's attack in. Okay, they go Ambusher. Fortunately, these aren't knights, so they will get a block in there. I'm going to just do a 1 Swordmaster here. And just pass the turn. I just want to try to get them dead enough. Let's see if they counter this. Okay, they go with Mystic here. Kind of want him to just tap out so I can try to abuse these Swordmasters. Okay, so let's start with attacks. Play you. Drain you. Play you. So we're 1 off this turn. Drain you. So they need a flyer this turn, otherwise they're dead. Here, I think we just throw on the double block. They have this, they could save it if they flash in like another wolf. But that basically fogs them there. So they can cast a Dream Eater. So with the Surveil on the stack, we can kill it, and then they can't block. Interesting that they're going to Dream Eater in these lists. Alright, so obviously Veil of Summer is good in this matchup. The Noxious Grasps, and probably not the full 4 of Noxious Grasps, to be honest. I could probably do 2, because a lot of their threats are blue. Massacre Girl is going to be tough to cast. Reave Soul doesn't really target much. On the top end, the Finality's fine. I really don't want to change too much. I think just getting like Edgewall down is important. I can probably cut a Midnight Reaper. I like these because you could play it on the opponent's turn. I actually don't want to change too much. The Veils are good. I'm going to get rid of the Incubations. And Order of Midnight's good because we can get back the stuff that gets countered. You know what? Let's do maybe shave down one Order of Midnight, keep the Finality just in case we need the board wipe on the top end. Massacre Girl's going to get hard to get out, and like they'll likely have counters at that point. Let's run it like this. We're probably weaker on the draw against this deck. Although we have 1-drops, which usually gets around counters, our 1-drops don't scale well. They're more like go wide style effects. I need to look into the Cascade event. I want to try to do something like the Pioneer deck where you use adventure cards to trick. Yeah, we keep this hand. So I think it's important we get down the Edgewall here. I'm just going to take the card draw. And then just pass the turn. That's fine. The Edgewall will draw us enough cards that it's worth it. Yeah, opponent just concedes. So that's the... So if you're playing against a deck that has more turn 1 removal, usually red-based decks, you don't want to play the Edgewall out on 1 when you have those 2 cards. It's better to just play it out on 2. You typically aren't attacking with Edgewall Innkeeper. You can tell I haven't played in a couple days. I got all the events. Let me just give Arena a quick reset. Not sure if they've still had some system issue or client issues, but it's funny. Even my desktop, I haven't turned it on for like 3 days. I'm just getting inundated with updates and stuff. Alright, let's run this back. Has anyone played any Pioneer in paper or on MTGO? I played my first tournament on Wednesday. Went 3-1 with my 4-color Fires Super Friends deck. It's actually hilarious to play. One point I had 8 walkers out. I got someone on the Possibility Storm lock with Teferi. Fae of Wishes is awesome in the deck. The only thing I lost to was Nexus, and I basically wrote on a piece of paper F6 while the opponent strung together like 20 turns because all they had was 7 mana each turn and the ability to find Nexus, but couldn't actually win the game. I like the 1 once. I don't like the 2 once. Let's try it. This is the power of Once Upon a Time. The fact that we could keep a 1-hander, get to cast a spell for free. Okay, are we Oko or are we Flash? Okay, so we got the Clover. In case we find it tapped lined. Don't really like either of those. Good thing is we got rid of the... Okay, so this is a ramp deck, so I'm a little more worried about putting this out bare. I think we just pass. The fact that Oko could just turn this into a 3-3, I'd rather get some utility out of it. And then this should hopefully help us find another land. We are in need of another land. So this Once Upon a Time questing on 3 hurts us. I'm going to take the castle here. It's better than a swamp. Could give us utility if we gain some life. Just pass the turn. See what... No sense of main phasing this yet. If they have a second questing beast in hand, you want to make sure that they can't cast it before combat. I can follow it up with Clover, Foulmire, and then Scry. And then we can get double kill with the Murderous Rider the following turn. Having 4 Murderous Riders main feels really good. Tell me they have Veil main. Oh, sorry, in terms of banned, I want them to ban Veil of Summer. That card is ridiculous. I'm actually okay with the land here. I want to be able to cast out a couple spells per turn. So this is good against if they have like Nisa lands or stuff like that. I'm happy to trade off. Doesn't block Questing Beast, but... So depending what they have, like if they go Nisa here, I can Murderous Rider, hit Brazen Borer and Nisa, which is nice. I can hold back the land as well. If they want to attack in with the land, then I'm happy to trade it off. Probably not here because they animated Breeding Pool. I could see them doing throwaway with like an island. So Nisa, Brazen Borer. I need some life. You don't block, but it lets me gain double life next turn. So we'll do that. Because next turn I can Murderous Rider and then gain 6 life, train them for 6. Wish this could at least block like flyers. And these knights just being able to hold back Nisa lands is really good. Alright. Well, they got a second one. You want to attack in? Ooh, I really want a Finality. Think we need to just knock it down. I'm worried about Hydrate Crisis. If we had a land, it would have been great. Because Crisis will be big enough to get around Finality. So I can Swordmaster. Could also Murderous Rider. So this will probably be my play next turn. Yeah, this is probably Crisis. We need to land that turn. If we draw land, I could try to bait them into it. Send everything at Nisa. Put 2 damage on it, and then Finality. else do they have? Ah, not what I wanted. Let's draw 2 cards. We had our opening there if we drew a land. So probably keep the Edgewall. Actually, let's just play out our hand. Mana-wise, this will make them be more conscious about attacking with the lions. Ooh, that's good. Okay, so we can deal with the Crisis at least. They go Borrower. So they can hit us for 9 in the air, which actually turns off the Murderous Rider. So how do we get out of this? I attack for 2. That puts, so they attack for 9. That puts us up to... Okay, they go Wolf. That's fine. You can't block anyways. So block, 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 block. Gain 2. Go up to 13. Take 9. Yeah, I think them attacking with that is what's going to put us behind. Let's take them off forests. I think we needed to play the Smitten. Because that puts us to 2, so we could wipe the board. But we don't have the life needed. Because I needed to be able to double Murderous Rider. Flex on them. If we had that line that turn, we would have been able to. So this matchup, obviously the Grasps are good. I like Spyglass, typically, and a couple Massacre Girls. Coming out, we could get rid of the Incubation. We are on the... We could shave down a once. Actually, 2 once. Finality's fine. Midnight Reaper's okay, but we could probably cut down 1. Actually gonna shave down 2 Clovers. They're playing Oko. You're not playing those colors to not play Oko. So this is kind of a liability to... And then shave down an Order Midnight. Massacre Girl is a good way to clean up the board. They usually have a Paradise Druid that can start the chain. We have a lot of 1-drops. And then leaving a 4/4 afterwards. So that turn, if we drew the 6th line, we would have been able to attack in. They would have blocked something with their Hydroid Crisis. Would have wiped the board. Then we've been able to untap and Murderous Rider ×2. And then take out whatever land they animated and the Nisa. But we are a hand away. This game's got pretty good... Like, this deck's got pretty good game against these food decks. The only thing... Like, a big Crisis is hard for us to deal with. I suppose... No green source. So I figure what we do is Knight on 1... Spyglass on 2, name Oko. draw a card on 3. So we gotta name Oko before Nisa, because if Oko comes down, it turns this into a dude. Okay, so that's our green source as well, which is nice. So they have Brazen, Borrower, Wicked Wolf, Oko. The good Oko's Thief of Crowns, right? Oko, Thief of Crowns. Let's just make sure. Yeah. Don't want to name 6 mana Oko. So their next turn's probably bounce this Spyglass anyways. They go Druid. That's actually a really good draw. I can do this at instant speed, so we'll just pass the turn. They don't have food, so these can't actually fight profitably with our knights. Might have been a little ambit. Like, they have to be playing Oko. You're playing Simic Food. Like, we haven't seen Goose yet. But they haven't shown anything other. You want to fight? You gonna fight? I will gladly take that trade. Oh, that was a beautiful chain of draws. Cycle this. Order of Midnight could then get back whatever dies. So here they're going to use Wolf to fight Edgewall. Next turn I do Order of Midnight, get 2 things back, get Foulmire Knight and Edgewall Innkeeper, play Edgewall, play thing, draw a card. Okay, so let's do exactly what I just said. You. Next turn we can draw 2 and then play another one. So I'm just doing chip damage. We have a Death Touch back. Once they commit a little bit more to the board, we can drop this Massacre Girl. I want to try to catch some lions if they have Nisa. You only put 2 counters. So here, let's go Order Midnight, see what we draw. Ooh, I like that. Ah, but we tap double black. Damn it. Okay, so here what we're gonna do, I should have tapped green black. I'm just gonna double draw this turn. So that probably means they have Oko. which is fine. So they'll make a food here. I'll play this down afterwards, name Oko. The best would be if they just... Cool. It seems like a good trade-off. It's drawing more than its fair share. They don't have Nisa mana. That's fine. You attack in there. So let's draw 2 here. Cool. So what we're going to do here I forgot to attack with Order of Midnight. I forgot. So in response to them sacrificing the food, we double Murderous Rider, this, and this. And then play out Spyglass, Voracious Hydra. We also have Murderous Rider to kill this. And I have enough black mana to play out a creature too. My guess is they just probably make this double. Like, there's not really much for them to fight. Like, they could fight the Edgewall if they want, but I think just making it big, at least you could trample over the damage. Okay, they do opt to go with the fight. Here... play out the Midnight. In case they play out Anissa. So if I block here, I would be taking 3 but gain 2, so I only net 1 loss. I might just do that. Take a turn. Once upon a time instead. Because I only take a damage off that. Or... I think I know what we do now. me just hit him like this. So we did that before committing to the block. Oh, and a Noxious Grasp to follow up. Everything at the opponent here. So I'm gonna once, if we find, yeah, Swordmaster wins us the game. Got him! This deck's sweet. I really like it. Do we do anything different this game? I really don't think so. Like, the Finality, we had insurance if they went wide that game. The Lucky Clover's fine. I wouldn't want more. Spyglass was pretty solid there, so I think we just run it back. So that game, Spyglass is really good. I got a full art for my Pioneer one, the borderless. It was like $4. Ooh. We can name Oko. Opponent goes first. We're on the draw. We have turn 2 to name Oko. I still think we keep it. Like, the fact we can shut off Oko gives us game. Especially because they kept... no. Goose. Ooh, Edgewall. Okay, so this might entice them if they have their turn 2 Oko. Surprise, this is the first Goose we've seen in 3 games, and all our games have gone pretty long. Okay, they got Oko. Borrower, so they could bounce it. Oko, Thief of Crowns. They could go Brontodon and blow it up, so... This matchup's gonna be tougher. I might have to no value cycle the Swordmaster. Here they can... Oh, they're short of land, though, from popping it this turn. They can go Borrower. But they have to tap the blue. Can also Nisa next turn. But hopefully catch something with the Blacklance, if so. Super low value play here. Okay, this will help us catch up. So here my guess is they pop it with Borrower. I'm doing this now, just hit the second green source. We're not really going to feint anything with the Swamp Up. I just go food. Problem is they have Nissa into Krasis. Make this a 3/3. Seems aggressive. Let's get a second forest. Just try to thin out the deck a bit. This castle is also not going to do much. So Nissa, animate a land, and then I'm going to try to Blacklance Paragon and block the lands. Too far behind. We gambled a bit, keeping 5 lands, and then drawing nothing but said lands. Okay, Nissa. Depending how they attack, I can also give something like this Death Touch, and then 3/3s trade pretty well. Alright, well, if you're not going to attack... Just gotta pass the turn here. They may opt to Borrower, but it seems kind of loose. Yeah, making a token seems better value. So this is a match where I wish I had Massacre Girl instead of the Finality, but we'll see if we can find it. This is a very large crisis. So they're doing this pre-combat, which means they're not going to attack in with like the breeding pool and stuff. Not quite dead, but this is going to hurt us a lot. Okay, they go 8. Gotta find a Massacre Girl. Want to determine how I need to block this turn. Just take Blacklance. So I'm just going to do this. I kind of want him to bounce with the Borrower here. This fogs for the turn. So 3 attacks down. Foulmire. So it takes them off a lot here. You know what, it was a free attack with Smitten just to gain 2 life. Could have helped the math. So we do have a 5/5. It's good in the face of them bouncing. Takes them off some lines as well. Another Crisis. Another Crisis will be rough. Voracious. Equally problematic. Issue here is even with this blocking, the trample damage gets us. Let's see what we can get. They just attack for 8 in the air. Ah, that one was close. Probably a loose keep. We shouldn't have kept 5 lands. Ah, that's unfortunate. I think we played that one pretty well outside of just the keep on the last one. Jeez. All my rewards for the week. Crack the pack. Hey, got a mythic wild card. And a giant killer. Alright, so that's pretty much the deck. We went 1-1 in 2 matches. The match we lost could have gone either way. We kept a little bit of a loose keep. Overall, do like the deck. Probably seems really good once we can get rid of Oko. Like, Hydrate Crisis is the hardest thing for this deck to deal with. We could grind him out of utility, but the life gain and just the big body would trample. A lot of our dudes are small. Like, they have the Death Touch, which trades up well, but they usually have 1 toughness. So that's pretty much the list. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow for the Cascade event. If you have any cool suggestions for decks, do drop a comment below. Looking to do broken things, so please let me know. If there's any cool interactions, combos, anything of that nature, I'd be really intrigued to play them. Anyways, thanks for stopping by. Have a good one as always, and enjoy Magic this weekend.